Alright friends, if you're here because you're wondering if the new Trials of Osiris Summoner Auto Rifle is any good, or maybe you're even on the fence about whether or not you should at all work towards getting an Adept version of it while it's the featured weapon, then you are in the right place. I will go over the refreshed perk pool for this weapon, tell you what I think the god roll is, whether it's any good, and whether it's worth taking a shot at trying to get. But first, before all of that, I will give you the short answer that many of us are here for. Yes, it's a good auto rifle, an exceptional one at that, and the rest of the video is more about all the ifs and buts that come in after that. There's a bit to consider, so sit back and let old Booster break it down for you so that you have all the information you need, and I'll get you out of here in under 10 minutes. Deal? Deal. Alright, firstly, let's take a look at what exactly the Summoner offers and what makes it desirable. Starting with the perk pool, if you've used Summoner in the past, you might notice there are some new faces here. Now when it comes to the god roll, the barrels I would consider are either extended barrel or small bore. Extended barrel negatively impacts our handling, so we will swap weapons a little slower with this, but this can be offset by things like dexterity mods, and overall this archetype of ARs aren't typically meant to be super snappy, so I'm not worried about it. The main thing I want this god roll to accomplish is to have competitive lethality while maintaining good range and stability. Now, both barrels contribute to this, but Extended offers just a little more range despite its downside in handling. And speaking of range, in our next column is a tough competition between the fan favorite ricochet rounds and high caliber rounds. Both grant a bump to range, but high cal trades off the bonus to stability to instead dish out a harsher flinch effect towards your enemies. This is a tough one to me because flinch is a big deal on weapons in this range class. When you're competing against hand cannons and snipers and you have to remain exposed to hold down the trigger and deal damage, you don't want to be too easy of a target for high damage precision weapons. High caliber will give your enemies a harder time staying on target as you're spraying them down, making it less risky for you to challenge some of the more competitive weapon types. Now that being said, even though high cal would be my perk of choice, either of these options would be great ones if they were to drop in your summoner. Now in our third column, Zen Moment is an easy pick for me on a weapon like this. A couple seasons ago it got buffed, and for weapons with higher fire rates like this, it is a no-brainer. Dynamic sway reduction is good as well, but nothing provides the same value for ease of use as Zen Moment. For our fourth column, once again the winner is clear. Target lock just got nerfed on SMGs just last week, and that makes auto rifles the next best thing. Now, target lock will decrease your time to kill and the amount of rounds needed to secure the kill the same way it did for SMGs before, but with an auto rifle, you'll be left with more rounds in the magazine to spray transfer or continue to ramp up damage on target lock. In my opinion, this sort of damage increasing perk will almost always win over others because it doesn't require a kill for activation. It can be active in every sort of engagement with no need to manage cooldowns or kill timers. It doesn't get much better than an overall damage buff that can consistently buff our output across all engagements. And for our origin trait, I would opt into activating Alacrity most of the time, as for a primary in clutch PvP engagements it's very beneficial, but it never hurts to try to get some sneaky kills from using Wildcard as well. When it comes to our masterwork, we want to be able to creep into the ultra competitive ranges that hand cannons and pulse rifles play at, so I would look for a range masterwork. Additionally, if you find yourself acquiring an Adept version of this weapon, you're definitely well off having the ability to slap on an Adept range mod. For reference, most competitive hand cannons range from roughly 33 meters anywhere up to just under 40 meters, and the extra reach on our god roll granted from using extended barrel instead of small bore is just over half a meter, plus you get the bonus recoil direction to make it easier to control. Then the difference between having the range masterwork and the Adept range mod is an additional 4 meters. This puts you at 32.2 meters instead of 27.6, allowing you to leverage both high cal rounds and target lock to push an already fast TTK of 0.8 seconds on your opponents. And if you're decent with applying movement while playing with an auto rifle of this caliber, you'll have no problem challenging the most competitive primary ranges with some success. Although we do happen to be in a bit of an auto rifle meta at the moment, this is what sets the auto rifle apart from some of the other top tier options. The faster rate of fire compared to other auto rifle classes will allow you to take advantage of high cal rounds more and stagger your opponents, but also retain lethality even in some of these competitive ranges, partly in help of the Adept range mod. Additionally, the Summoner was just announced to be one of the few weapons that can have its perks transformed to enhanced perks once the Final Shape DLC is live. That means that you can get a roll that you like right now and keep using it up until the Final Shape, and it will get all of its enhanced bonuses if you decide it's worthy of enhancing. Overall, this leaves you with a nice thick range bar and a healthy looking stability stat to ease recoil and reduce flinch. And back to the question of the video, yes, this weapon is exceptional and it beats out almost all the competition in its class, so there is a reason to specifically grind for this auto rifle over others. But it being Adept is not going to make or break this weapon. Now, if you're looking for a way to do better in Trials of Osiris, or even want to be able to have an entire build to work around your God roll auto rifle, this video will reveal how you could take this weapon and apply it to a build that turns you and your weapon into a force to be reckoned with. Go check that out, and as always, thank you for being here, stay tuned, and peace out. Let's go.
Last player standing.
Nice.